If you're like me, when you travel there's this constant pressure to see everything. Every landmark, every hidden street, every festival. But sometimes you need the opposite. You need a break, a chance to slow down, breathe, and reconnect with yourself. That's where the Montreal Botanical Gardens come in. Here are the reasons why I think Montreal's Botanical Garden is worth your time as a tourist. The first reason is that it's the perfect escape from the city. This place isn't just another attraction. It's one of the largest and most beautiful botanical gardens in the entire world. And it might just be the little escape you didn't know you needed. Spread across 75 hectares, the Montreal Botanical Gardens are home to tens of thousands of different types of plants, located throughout themed gardens and specialized greenhouses. The garden is part of the Espace complex, which includes the planetarium, insectarium, biodome, and biosphere. If you haven't already, check out part 1 in this series for a proper introduction to Espace pour la vie. I've linked it in the description. This place isn't just pretty, it's a National Historic Site of Canada with a huge scientific, educational, and cultural role. Montreal is electric, even hectic at times. There's always something happening, but let's be honest, sometimes it's nice to get away from the noise. Necessary even. What makes the Botanical Gardens the perfect space is its enormous size. As I mentioned, over 75 hectares, which means you're never crammed shoulder to shoulder with crowds. Instead, you're surrounded by tranquil paths, hidden corners, and breathtaking views. Not only that, but its location as well. From downtown Montreal, it's a short 20-minute metro ride, yet stepping through the gates feels like entering an entirely different world. It offers a peaceful retreat from the busy city, offering you a unique experience where you'll feel like you are traveling across the world. Honestly, you feel like you've been teleported to so many different regions. In one moment, you're wandering through a lush alpine zone inspired by the Himalayas and Arctic tundra. Rocky slopes where delicate plants somehow thrive despite extreme conditions. Next, you're standing among tropical orchids, massive ferns, and ancient bonsai trees. It's impossible to see it all in one day, and that's the beauty of it. My advice, don't even try. Plan ahead, choose a few highlights, and let yourself slow down. There's an interactive map you can use on their website to get a sneak peek at each zone. I recommend you use it to make your list of must-sees. A fantastic way to not only plan out what to do, but to tell if the plants and flowers are in season. Again, I've linked it in the description down below. The second reason, and the best reason for visiting the Montreal Botanical Garden, is exploring its themed gardens. And honestly, if you only have time for one thing, make it this. Every space has its own story, atmosphere, and hidden gems. Let's take a little tour and check out the highlights you shouldn't miss. Without a doubt, the most impressive is the Chinese Garden, a true masterpiece. Built in collaboration with the city of Shanghai and Montreal, this colorful area is rich in tradition and authenticity. Not only were the materials imported from Shanghai, 120 containers of them to be exact, but also the aesthetic principles. 50 expert Chinese craftsmen flew to Montreal to assemble the garden, stone by stone, piece by piece. This isn't a phony backdrop at some amusement park, this is the real deal. It is one of the largest Chinese gardens outside of China, making it the next best thing to hopping on a plane to Shanghai. Besides the magnificent architecture, there are so many fantastic elements to appreciate. Wander past bridges and pavilions, listen to the trickle of waterfalls, and don't miss the central pond, covered with floating lanterns shaped like dragons, tigers, and fish. At night, when it all lights up, it's pure magic. The springtime courtyard with its petal-shaped entrance is worth the visit in itself, but the highlight is the great collection of bonsai trees and penjing, the Chinese art of creating miniature landscapes. Some of these living artworks are over 100 years old. Think about that for a second. They've been alive longer than most of us ever will be. Many of them were donated by the city of Shanghai to the city of Montreal in the 1980s. What an incredible collection they have. If the Japanese bonsais were of interest to you, then you'll love the Japanese themed garden. the second of 3 cultural gardens. In comparison to the Chinese garden, the Japanese gardens are more tranquil in style, with sober and clean lines. Designed by the late Ken Nakajima, international Japanese landscape architect, the garden puts the emphasis on the natural beauty around. The connection to the water is key, with cascading water features that draw your eyes to the colorful koi fish right under your feet. The pavilions are dedicated to Japanese culture and are only open when there are exhibits and various activities. I suggest looking at the calendar on the Japanese Garden Foundation's website to know what's coming up, which I've linked in the description below. It's the perfect place for reflection and harmony. A must-see. The last of the cultural gardens is the First Nations Garden. This is not about extremely curated and refined gardens. Rather, it is about the deep connection that the First Nations and the Inuit people of Quebec have with nature. You need to visit this garden with a guide, so make sure there is one if it interests you. If not, there's not much to see. The third reason you should visit is the absolutely massive greenhouse collections, which are located right behind the main entrance to the Botanical Gardens. The greenhouse is split up into 10 different zones, each with a distinct theme. I really loved the greenhouses, each room was a surprise. The fern greenhouse is truly a special room. It feels like being in a tropical forest. Ferns have such impressive foliage, so their impact is astounding. They can be lowly shrubs or majestic trees. These resistant plants have continued to adapt to their environment for millions of years. Ferns can grow in all kinds of places, like these magnificent staghorn ferns that don't even need soil. The next greenhouse is dedicated to orchids. I had no idea that orchids came in so many colors and shapes. They look enchanted and mystical. Some hang down in trails, with cute little flowers. Others stand tall, bold and with pride. Orange, pink, yellow, purple. The variety of this species is incredible. The greenhouse is designed to look like the ruins of an ancient fortress invaded by tropical plants. Pretty cool if you ask me. Probably the one that I was most impressed by, the Arid Regions Greenhouse. The species you can see here are cacti and succulents. They come from the Americas and Africa. The variety is incredible, again. As someone who has never traveled to a place where you can see cacti in the wild, this was a special experience. I'm used to seeing them in tiny pots at a plant shop. It gave me this odd feeling like I was shrunk down to a small size. Just look at these. Like all the plants on site, you aren't supposed to touch them, but I must admit I really wanted to feel the prickles here. Oh well. Right next to the Arid Regions Greenhouse is the Hacienda Greenhouse. This is meant to emulate a hacienda, which is, to my understanding, an inner courtyard found at Mexican estates, whose plants are chosen for their ornamental qualities. These can be found in Spain and the United States as well. The theme is executed perfectly. It doesn't feel fake or tacky. Most of the plants here require very little water, which is perfect for dry regions of the world or forgetful plant owners. The last reason I think you should visit the Montreal Botanical Gardens is for the robust calendar of activities. Almost every day there are activities to partake in, or presentations to enjoy. What's on offer varies greatly depending on the time of year that you decide to visit the gardens, mainly affected by what plants are in bloom. For example, the lotus pond in the Chinese gardens bloom from June to August, so you can join a presentation that explores the many facets of this fascinating flower, from cultural, culinary, or biological perspectives. There are free guided tours of both the interior and exterior gardens, so if you aren't sure where to start, this could help you decide. A favorite activity is the Garden of Lights Festival at the Botanical Gardens. As the days get shorter and the sun sets earlier come September, there are animated light installations at the cultural gardens, so the Chinese, Japanese, and First Nation gardens. The experience is magical. You truly experience nature in a way that you've never seen before. There are many activities, and I suggest you check out the event calendar to know what's on and when is the best time to visit. At that, if there are no activities when you're available to visit, it's still an incredible experience for all the reasons I explained. I've linked the event calendar down in the description, so check it out. The Montreal Botanical Gardens are so much more than just plants. They're a journey through cultures, ecosystems, and time itself. Whether you're coming for a romantic walk, a quiet picnic, or a full day of exploration, this place offers something you simply can't find anywhere else in this city. So, if you want to slow down, breathe deeply, and see the world without leaving Montreal, put the Botanical Gardens at the top of your list. And if you enjoyed this video, check out the rest of my Espace pour la vie series, where we explore the biodome, planetarium, and more. Thanks for watching, consider subscribing, and see you in the next one.